Hello, this is Kelly Allen. I'm going to spend a few minutes discussing long-term care Medicaid, gifting, the look-back period, and penalties. So when we apply for long-term care Medicaid, we have to supply the social worker with 5 years worth of financial information because there's a 5-year look-back period. 5 years is the period that Medicaid wants to see all of the finances, so all of the income, everything that was spent. So 5 years worth of bank statements for every account, canceled checks, income statements, anything dealing with the finances. And basically what Medicaid is looking for is gifts. Gifts would be anything that the Medicaid applicant or his or her spouse have given away, and that can be either money or property, or have sold for less than fair market value. And with long-term care Medicaid, gifts are penalized. And the penalty is always a time period. So you can't tell in advance what the monetary value of any given penalty is going to be. So when we're putting together a Medicaid case, we look at that 5-year look-back period. And we go through and we add up any gifts that were made. The formula is that you take that total gift amount and divide it by 6,800. That's just what the formula happens to be in North Carolina. And it does change from time to time. For every $6,800 worth of assets that has been gifted, there is a 1-month penalty. What that means is that once Medicaid is approved, from the time that Medicaid would have started paying, there's going to be a delay in benefits by the amount of time that you're penalized. So if you have a 6-month penalty period because you have gifted that much in property, then that means once your Medicaid application is approved and there's a date that Medicaid would have started paying the room and board at the skilled nursing facility, there's actually going to be a 6-month delay. So if the facility that you are in is $6,000 a month, then okay, you've encountered a $6,000 times 6 month or a $36,000 penalty. If instead your facility charges $10,000 a month, then your 6-month penalty is actually $60,000. So depending on how much your facility costs, that's how you're going to determine what the dollar amount of your penalty period actually is. And unfortunately, that means that some family member is going to have to pay during that penalty period. Because for Medicaid to have been approved, the applicant already has to have exhausted their resources, as we've discussed previously. So the applicant no longer has any money to be privately paying the facility, so somebody else has got to come out of pocket with those private pay amounts until you work through the penalty. And until that penalty period is satisfied, Medicaid will never start paying. So Medicaid penalties are a really big deal and can create a lot of issues for folks. So it's very important to avoid gifting during that 5-year look-back period unless you're doing it strategically as part of an asset protection plan, working with an attorney on that.